Alright guys, so welcome to this installation video where I will be talking briefly about what workflows we are using. So the first thing we are going to do here is I have this freshly installed Windows 11 development. It's actually running in a hypervisor here, so it's a virtual environment, clean installation of Windows 11. So I'm gonna show you what we need to do with Windows in order to sort of become power users. So the first thing we will do here is just make Windows play along with us. So I'm going into options here, and I'm going to view, and I'm going to show hidden files, folders, and drives, and I'm going to deselect this hide extensions for known file types. We want to see extensions, and we want to see all files. Now, this is what we are going to do then. Your local user profile is in Windows, users. In this case, the user is called just user. And then here is where everything is stored locally, like your desktop and stuff. And this is where we will store our virtual environment once we get to that, and where Marimo installer is going to keep files, where UV is keeping files. Basically, everything that is installed locally will go into app data and be somewhere on the user profile. So now that we have just made this simple setup, let's go and grab VS Code. So I'm just going to type VS Code, and then I'm going to download VS Code here for Windows 11. There are two types. You can do user, you can do system. We're just going to stick with the default here, which is going to default to user. So VS Code user setup is being downloaded, and once that is done, we will enter that. And yeah, just click through this. You see here it's going to install in the app data. That is fine. This is fine. And then here we want to add open with code to the Windows Explorer file context menu, and also the Windows Explorer directory context menu. That makes this very, very simple to start in new projects. Next, and install. I will also show you later how you can use the terminal to add the file context menu for a globally installed VS Code. So if you are at a school computer, for instance, VS Code is going to be installed in the global, in the program data folder, and then you can use a command to just add the file context menu. Please know that on different computers that might not exist, so you should be sort of familiar with using the terminal, so you can set this up for every session that you're going to use. If you use your private computers, then you own your stuff, so you can set it up however you want. Alright, we won't launch VS Code. We are just happy with having it installed for now. Then we will navigate to the python.ju.se site. And in the installing Python, we can see here that for the quickest setup for Windows users, we should get Marimo installer, because that it actually installs everything for us. So we don't need to walk through all the manual setup. And that's what we are going to use then. So here is a download installer button. So just press that and it will install or download the installer. And from there we can just open this, double click, and double click the setup function. And yeah, we trust the publisher, which is me, so you can trust me. I'm a very trustable guy. So you see here, this is when it was created, and you can read through what it will do, and you can just press enter, and it will install UV to manage the Python installations and packages and stuff. And once that is done, it's going to install a bunch of helper stuff as well. So you just wait for this to finish. The part that is going to take the longest is the adding to context menu stuff for Marimo. So while this is going on, and this is really, really fast, that's why we use UV compared to the standard Python stuff. We don't really install Python either, using some different way, because it either gets bloated or it just does not handle very well with UV. So this is a very lightweight and easy way of just installing using UV, and then we can use it across the system. So the packages are being installed, and now it's adding the open with Marimo context menu, and that could take a while, and that is really useful. So when you are in some project, let's say you're here in the download folder and you create a new folder, call it project 1 or something, you go in and then you can right click, and you see here there's open with code. There will be a open with Marimo. So we can just try how this works out while we wait for installer. Open with code will launch VS Code for us. And there we go. And you will always get this. Do you trust the authors of this folder? Well, there's nothing really to trust, but yeah, go ahead with that. Close this out, and there we have that. And you can launch the terminal by pressing Control in the Nordic keyboard. And you get your terminal here. It's running PowerShell by default. So we are in here. Now we're just waiting for the installer here to finish. But we can already see if we have, for instance, UV installed by just doing UV version. See if that works. Yeah, that works very fine. You can see do we have Python and what version does it have. And we can see, okay, the Python is installed on the system. We can do GCM to see where Python is installed, and we can see here that it is installed in our local user in the .local bin folder. But we have a Marimo has just installed a virtual environment for us, and we can activate that. And by having run the Marimo installer, it has created a activate shortcut for us. So we can just type activate and then the name of the environment, virtual environment, and the default name has been created for us. So we can just do default, and yeah, activate is not found. Maybe it hasn't finished this yet. Once it's done, then we can kill the terminal and relaunch the terminal, and activate should be installed. Once it's done, it's not really done yet, so I have to wait for it. Maybe see if it is a VS Code thing or if it actually is not done yet. Yeah, no, it's not done yet, so you patiently wait for it to finish. You can inside the terminal here, you can see that we are in the project 1, but we can also go back using cd ... and see that we have a bunch of files here, and one of them is yeah, it's not visible here. There should be a cd vms. Yeah, there we go. And then in here we have the default, so it is there. We just have to wait for the installer to finish, then we can go in there, and there we go. It has added stuff to the path. Now it's done. Can kill the terminal and restart. That's the best way of reloading everything, and then just to activate default. Yeah, sometimes you need to log out and log back in for the path to take effect. So maybe that is the case here as well. Now let's see. Default. And here we have an issue, and that is that the user activate PS cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled on the system. For more information, see about execution policies. Inside the Python here, you can actually see that. If you go to troubleshooting, if you get something with execution policy, you can fix that by set execution policy, remote signed scope current user. So we can run that and set that, and then we should be able to activate the default virtual environment. Now if we run GCM Python, we can see here that it actually uses it from the default virtual environment here, which is exactly what we want. Also, I just remembered that we don't really need to log out, we just need to restart VS Code. So if we kill it, and then in our project 1, you can right click, go to more options, and here we can see that we have open with code, and we also have open with Marimo. So let's do open with code for now to show that that works. So inside here we do Control to activate the terminal, and then we just type activate default, and now we should be up and running, which we are. GCM Python, just to confirm that Python is being run from our newly created default virtual environment. Also here we can do uv pip list to list everything that is was installed by the Marimo installer. So that's perfect. Let's go back to the project, right click, show more options, and open with Marimo just to confirm that that works as well. And there we go, it's changing the directory. It's using the default, and then it's slowly launching Marimo for the first time, taking forever for some reason. And there we go, you want to allow Python to access, sure. And there we are, create a new project, and we are inside Marimo, which is a nice workflow to do, to do some work besides the VS Code. Okay, and close this down, and now we are basically up and running